my name's Sam. I'm here with Revv Amps, and today we're going to be taking a look at our new head. This is the Generator G50, which is the newest amp in the Generator family of amps. The Generator is kind of our all-in-one, kind of like the Swiss Army knife. The large one is a 4-channel amp. This is a 3-channel amplifier. It's got a clean channel, a crunch channel with 3 different drive stages, and it's got a high gain channel also with 3 different drive stages, as well as several different voicing options. Like all of our amps, it is also equipped with the Two Notes Torpedo, which is a reactive load box and IR loader. So this actually allows you to run the amp direct, and this amp does run stereo XLR out. So looking at the features of the amp, on the clean channel here, you got your 3-band EQ. The clean actually does not have a gain. It's really clean. The idea with this amp, because it does have so many different gain options, is that your clean channel is your clean channel. So 3-band EQ, level. It's got a wide switch, which is kind of like a high and a low boost, as well as a bright switch. On your second channel here, you've got gain, level, you've got 3 different drive stages, and then also the bright switch and the wide switch. And on the high gain channel here, we've got 3 different aggression stages, all of which add more saturation to the circuit. You've got a bright switch, cut switch, which is kind of like a mid push, fat switch, which is kind of like more low end sag, as well as your 3-band EQ. You've got a master presence and depth control, which is new for our mid-size heads. The older version did not have those, as well as your virtual cabinets. You can store 6 different virtual cabinets on the face of the amplifier, and these allow you to run direct for direct recording if you want to run live to front of house, and you do not need a cabinet to do that. You can use the load box to disengage your speaker output and just run the head. So if you don't want to bring a full cab to the gig, all good. So yeah, let's take a listen to some tones here. We're going to start with the clean channel. So I'll just leave your EQ flat for now. So as we mentioned, it's really clean. It's intended to stay a clean channel. It still does take pedals nicely, but where the amp has so many gain options, this is kind of your smoother, clean tone. A little bit of a nice compression on there just to make it feel, you know, a little more attached to your fingers. And the wide switch actually does that even more. So let's turn that on and see how that sounds. Wide off. It also has that bright switch, which is a little bit of a top end boost, so let's turn that on. And the amp, I should have mentioned, also does come with onboard digital reverb. There's a master reverb level on the back of the amp, so let's see how that sounds. And yeah, that's the clean channel on the amp. As far as the EQ, I have everything pretty flat right now, but I'll show you a bit of what that can do. It does have quite a bit of range. So this is with your highs and your mids boosted a little bit. Honestly, I really like kind of where it sits just at unity. Like the wide switch and the bright switch both add just a nice voicing to that if you want a little bit more of either of those things. So that's usually how I run it. It's just pretty flat. Also, I wouldn't use it on the clean channel so much, but here there is a bit of noise, and there is an onboard gate which works great for that. Similar gate to what's in the Generator Mark III, and our G8 pedal actually was based on that gate. So let's take a look at the second channel. So on channel 2 here, same thing, you got the same 3-band EQ. It is shared with the clean channel on this one. You got a gain knob. There's 3 different drive stages, which we'll get if you just kind of cycle through the channel switch here, as well as that bright switch. So here's what we got just off the top. So more in the realm of like a rock type gain structure. Like the amp is, it can get into metal territory, but this is your channel for those more in-between tones. With the drive switches, you can definitely push it harder, but it saturates a little bit differently than the higher gain channels. So here's what the drive switch does. As I mentioned, it does have that bright switch, which really brings out a lot of the attack in this channel. So we'll turn that guy on here. Especially for those more neck pickup tones. You can keep all the depth of the channel, but it gives you a little bit more attack for those positions that might be, producing a little bit more of a bass type resonance. And yeah, that's the second channel on the amp. So now we're gonna get fun, and this is what everybody's expecting from us, is the high gain stuff. So preemptively, just because I really like it, this is what that gate does. And just in terms of the amount of sustain. That's with the gate off, and then with the gate on. Right, like you can still get it to feed back like that, and just the way that it kind of detects your input signal, it's not really choking until it knows you want to choke. So it's really great just for general noise reduction and not just wanting that super hard, of the gent gate. So I generally leave it on all the time with the high gain channel because I find it doesn't really suck any sustain out of my lead tones or anything like that. So I'm just going to leave it on because I like it. So this is that channel. I'm just going to put everything flat. So even without any of the voicing switches activated, it's really, really tight. You'll see it's purple. It is kind of based on the purple channel. If you're familiar with our amps, the purple channel is a lot more mid-forward, more presence, whereas the red channel on the Generator has a lot more low-end sag. And while this is based on the purple channel, we did want to get a decent amount of the attributes that people liked about the red channel, a little bit more of that kind of low-end attack, low-end boom, So that's with everything flat. Let's step through those aggression stages, and then we'll take a look at these voicing switches here. So this is the blue aggression. Go to the red, a little bit more saturation even then. And I really like just the amount of saturation that the voicing switches add. So often if I want less gain, I'll still have it on the red aggression, but just back the gain knob off, and you still get a lot of that attack, but it's still quite clear, you know? So. That being said, you know, if you want to pin it. So super tight. With the voicing switches here, so as I mentioned, we have bright, cut, and fat, which is essentially just high, mid, and low. And although it says cut, you'd assume it's taking mids away. It's actually adding more mids and adding a bit more attack. So let's start with that bright switch. Keeps all the depth, but a little bit more attack. And you'll notice the same thing here with the cut switch. This is probably my favorite of all these switches here. Same thing, you know, keeps all the depth that you like, but just gives you a little bit more attack there. And the fat switch kind of does the opposite of that. This is for the people that want, you know, a lot more of that low end seg. So I'll show you what that does. Right, kind of like that boomier kind of sub bass thing. Think like rectifier. That's pretty much it. I really like, you know, using the bright and the cut switch here. Again, just because of the voicing they add, you know, like it does a specific thing frequency-wise, but feel-wise, I feel like it just gives you a lot more of that attack, which is personally what I think you want from, you know, a higher gain amp like that. And the reverb is global, so you know if you want to do like this is all programmable, right? So let's say you wanted to have, I guess I should have mentioned that. There's a store button on the amp here. The store right there. So let's say with this channel with the foot switch, you can actually save different presets here. But let's say on this channel I liked this sound specifically. You can just hit the store button here, and then hit the channel button. And then as soon as you go back to that channel, it's going to recall that preset that you just dialed. With the foot switch, it'll allow you to store 4 different presets. So let's say you liked this sound, but for your lead tone, you wanted to go with the red aggression with your reverb on. The foot switch would detect that you're changing that, and then you can actually store that. So you can have different presets on each channel, just with a little bit of variance. So like for a lead tone or something. That's pretty pretty much it. You know, it can be as simple as you want it to be, or if you want to get into dialing all the presets, you can do that without having to use MIDI. You can also store the different virtual cabinets for different presets. There's a full editor where you can edit, you know, everything within your IR, from the different microphone you're using, the different room size that you're using. Just makes it, you know, really useful for either, you know, recording at home, or as we mentioned, you know, if you're playing live and your sound guide wants a direct signal, great. You don't have to fight with, you know, drum mics or anything like that. And that's pretty much it. This is our new mid-size head. This is kind of our answer to the people that have been asking for a generator that's not, you know, quite as massive, and we're really excited about it. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks for tuning in.